rebel pensioners who refuse to pay for TV licenses should be spared court action during the coronavirus pandemic, a leading campaigner will demand next week. Silver Voices director Dennis Reed is gearing up for a video-link showdown with the BBC boss Tim Davie next Tuesday after over-75 free licenses were means-tested following a broken Tory election pledge. The Mirror understands Mr Reed will urge the B to make payment of the £157.50 fee voluntary for over-75s for the duration of the COVID-19 crisis. He is also expected to insist that enforcement action against non-payers is shelved while the country battles the virus. The campaign chief is set to tell the TV boss that restoring free licenses for all over 75s should be a priority, and urge the BBC to thrash out a solution with the government. He said, "We will be proposing several compromise options to the BBC, including a medium-term voluntary scheme, and we expect a flexible and empathetic response. The whole country expects the BBC to make a contribution to community safety and community cohesion at this difficult time. If necessary, the BBC should approach the government to help fund the scheme. Vulnerable older people, who will again be shielding or self-isolating in their millions, need to be reassured that they will not be harassed for license fees when they need their TVs as essential support. We will make clear to Mr Davie that we need to move away from enforcement and threats in favour of cooperation and persuasion." Close quote. Silver Voices has consistently pointed the finger of blame for the free licenses row at the Conservatives, who broke a manifesto pledge to protect free licenses until 2022. The Tories promised at the 2017 election to maintain over 75s free licenses for the rest of that parliament, which was due to run for 5 years. But the BBC had already been handed responsibility for funding the Lifeline from June 2020, under a deal agreed in 2015. It said keeping licenses free for all over 75s would cost £745 million by 2021-22. The corporation announced restrictions from August 1, meaning only over 75s who receive pension credit are eligible. An estimated 3.7 million people have been robbed of the benefit. The Mirror has fought to save the Lifeline, with more than 18,000 readers backing the fight by completing coupons in the paper. Lord George Fowlkes, who chairs Parliament's cross-party group on ageing and older people, said, "With winter looming and a second lockdown creeping in, I am pleased that the BBC is meeting with Silver Voices, and I welcome the group's proposals for a voluntary TV licence scheme for the short to medium term." However, while a temporary change would be a huge win for us, we still need a long-term solution as our elderly remain increasingly confined to home, with many living alone relying on the TV as their main connection with the outside world. Close quote. Renewing his call for ministers to find a solution, he said he would like to see the government getting around the table with everyone before irreversible damage is done. A BBC spokesman said previously, "It was the government who decided to stop funding free TV licenses for the over 75s. The BBC board believes the fairest option is to help the poorest older pensioners." Around 1.5 million households could get free TV licenses if someone is over 75 and receives pension credit. Critically, it is not the BBC making that judgment about poverty, it is the government who set and control who is eligible for pension credit and what level of payments are made. The government has criticised the BBC for means testing. Said, "It is good news that the BBC is meeting with silver voices and listening to their community." The loss of that TV for many over 75s as we enter the winter months, with many isolating and unable to leave their homes, will be devastating. What we now need is for the government to accept their responsibility for depriving some of our most vulnerable pensioners of TV at a time when they need it more than ever. For the government to blame the BBC, who are having to contend with huge cuts, is simply passing the buck. Close quote.